Okay, so we're back with our second video where we're gonna actually start using the dashboard of our Windows server. And this is the part where we would add our roles and features. So let's start. I'm gonna click the Manage button. Wait for that to load. Okay, well, let's just do it the easy way. We'll click on Add Roles and Features, which is basically where we begin everything. So there's a before we begin page where it's giving us, you know, tips of what should be in place before we begin. So let's click next. We choose our installation type. Let's stick with role-based or feature-based installation. Let's click next here. All right, and it's showing our server selection. Select a server from the server pool. So it looks like we have an internal server where it's taking from the computer itself. So we'll select that one. All right, so this is where we have our server roles. The first one we're going to choose would be DNS server. So we'll select that. But there are a lot of other options as to what type of server we can make. And basically, if we were creating a real server, we would know which ones would apply. But for the sake of the project and basically practice, we're going to start with the basics. So, and it's showing that file and storage service is also installed, as well as all the options for Active Directory and so forth. So let's click DNS server first. Right, so a pop-up just appeared. Add features that are required. Yes, let's add them. Great. They're showing some validation results, basically telling us that there are no static IP addresses found. This is fine for now, since it's going to be internal, so let's click continue. Great, so DNS server is selected. So let's click next. Alright, it's showing us our features. Now we have the default one selected, so we're just going to keep it there for now. Basic net framework features installed and so forth, so next. Alright, so yeah, see we have some different selections, default stuff, all the support that we need. There are extras, but for this case we won't be selecting any of those. Alright, so it's basically explaining what DNS provides and things to note so that we will know or have an idea as to what we're setting up. So let's just get that done here. Right, so we're confirming our settings. It's listed here. There's an option to restart the destination server automatically if required. I'm just going to check that. If it needs to restart, let's let it do that. And now we install. Right, and now we're in the installation phase. This will take a few minutes, so let's just wait for it to actually start doing something, and then we'll move on to the other phase when it's done. Alright, so we have some progress. Installation is still continuing, but we should be almost done pretty soon. So basically, from my knowledge and from research, the DNS is the IP address that a network would pick up where we would establish a gateway so that internet would flow in between all the computers. In this case, this is the server, so this will be the main point of the network. And great, installation is done. So let's close, and we have a DNS server now. It's listed right at the bottom. So where we see roles and server groups, that's where everything is. DNS is there now. Uh, these are in red. It's showing that we have a local server now. So that's good. Let's see what else. Alright, so let's click on tools. And now we see that we have a lot of options. We have DNS, so let's click that. Right, this is our DNS manager. It's showing our server machine name. If we click on it, alright, so we have our folders, and we could configure the DNS server now. So let's go through this wizard, clicking next. We'll create a forward lookup zone recommended for small networks. This is just practice, so it's gonna be a small network anyway. Next. Right. Which server maintains our primary forward lookup zone? It would be this one because we're not using any ISP right now. Right, zone name. So this is where we have to put like an URL here. It has to have .com. It doesn't matter what name we use for now since it's internal. So I'm just gonna make up a zone name. There we go. Right, so create a new file with this file name. It made that up by default. That's the DNS. So we're just gonna keep it like that. Alright, so I was just going through some of the options, so we went back a bit, but the server zone name remains the same. This server maintains the zone. We don't have an ISP right now. This is just me trying to understand everything before I move forward. Just trying to read up everything, get a better feel for it. Okay. Looks like I'm ready to move forward now, so great. Do not allow dynamic updates. I'm just moving around. Looks like I'm going to create a new zone, which is the same one that we were establishing. Great. We've just created our new zone. And there it is listed. The status is showing us running. We are going inside. We see that we have start of authority file. And now we create our new host. In this case, we're going to make it up. Since it's a test, I'm naming it test1. And our host would be from that domain name, test1.xare.com. And we're going to make up an IP address. We'll use one of the very basic ones, 10.1.1.100. Basic starter IP address that routers will use and so forth. So that's our host. Let's add it. Great. So it's been successfully created. And we're done. There we go. Our host is right there. And it has an IP address assigned. So if this server was, real, we'd have to use a real host that the company would have provided with the provided IP address. And we'll show the rest in the next video.